The world. Okay. How's it going, everybody? And let me make sure I got prep or anything perfect. Now, I was watching this college football game, and an hour and 10 into it, you get the transfer portal commercial. And of course, I had to pause it where that light goes boom. And you see the 110 down there for the date of the transfer portal. And you see the Fox, which comes to 666. I think it's in Chaldean, the Pythagorean gematria. I think it is. One of them. And because I was just like, well, let me watch a little football. And I know it's fake, but I wanted to see what I could see. But also it was USC and UCLA. They both wear their home uniforms, so it has a lot of color. And it was just something really to be mindless, like a mindless read. People will say they like to just read a book to take their mind off life and the world, or watch a mindless TV show, or that's how you get flipping channels when you're in that mindless world. You just want to escape, and you'll come across like the middle of Top Gun and you can't turn it off. And you're like, well, that's a movie. Once I start watching, I can't turn it off. Well, I was just looking for something mindless to do. And when you are mindless, you do get, you can't just suddenly watch a movie you would sit down and watch and say, that wasn't really that good. But if you're in a mindless state, you're not expecting much, you'll watch it. But if somebody tells you to go watch a movie, it's the best movie I've ever seen, you'll be watching it and you'll be overly critical of it. You won't be able to enjoy it because you went in thinking, oh, well, this is going to be amazing. And you're waiting for something versus not looking for anything. So that's at the 110 mark, which is the transfer portal date. And I went back and noticed, I was like, well, at the very beginning, notice it's at 000 at the very beginning. It did this. $110, number 1, number 10. And the camera was poised there. And these two players were positioned there. 110. 110. 110. 110. The transfer portal date. 110. January 10th, the transfer portal date. So that's me just playing with things because I just get very bored with my life. Anyway, fascinating, isn't it? Could mean nothing. I got a pretty harsh comment from somebody that apparently took it down. Unless, because it was in this video. Maybe it's there. Let's. And Jamie's comment is not there either. Where she said, I don't really understand the numbers. They sort of make me uncomfortable. But she sort of found it, interesting, or, she's very nice about it. Another girl came on and was very mean about it. She was like, you're a narcissist. We don't care about your personal. I don't know. So I was like, is she trolling me or something? But I can certainly back off of my personal numbers thing. That's not a big deal. Hey, it's 500 for Antichrist o'clock. Hey. He's in Dallas right now, the big guy. Right? If I hit my notifications, I bet I could go down. There's Michael's comment. We'll get to Michael's comment. That's Jamie saying I will explain in the next video. Hell, yeah, here's Jamie's comment. Okay, good. But what about that girl's comment? The one that was really mean. She was really mean too. Dude, nobody cares about your X numbers. Sounds super narcissist. You're not proving anything to the masses. Try to be more relevant to the collective. That sounds like the divine feminine. And see, her comments don't show up down here, but here she is. Try to be more relevant to the collective. Personal coincidences should be a personal curiosity that you keep to yourself because you're not that important. Well, unless you're a narcissist, because they think that they are relevant. So, Sky Girl view, she's pretty exciting. And so there she is. There's our Skyview girl. Just wanted to say hello from the narcissist. Just wanted to say hello from the super let me spell it. Did I get it? I don't know if it's a capital letter. It won't spell check it, maybe. Did I spell it right? I did. So impressed. So the numbers thing, I don't know why she came to my channel. I mean, how do people come to my channel? And what did I tell her? I said, I'm not here to entertain you. This is my channel. Go make your own videos or go watch somebody else's. I don't make money off my videos. I don't monetize my channel. It was your decision to watch. Nobody forced you. And you are not being hired by me to write, direct, or produce my videos. Quite possibly, you're a hired troll. I don't know. How would I know? And all right, so here Jamie Jamie says the use of yellow school buses is everywhere. And I did say I did a gematria on school buses once, and I forget what all it said, but I should revisit it because we might get some dates that we're pretty high on now. It says the hospital explosion concerning the yellow school buses and the Dark Knight with the Joker as a nurse and the school buses. So that's the second time yellow school buses were featured in the Dark Knight, at the very beginning of the movie and when the hospitals blew up, or when he blew up that hospital. So it's relevant. And she equated it to, yellow submarine, yellow taxis, and, could be something there. Regarding the numbers involving your personal life, and, so if somebody like Jamie speaks to it, I take it to heart because, she understands the truth in God's word. And I respect what she has to say because she offers so much to our channel. And we text and we've talked on the phone. And I just value her. And obviously she values me or us because she's here. So I take it to heart. She says, regarding the numbers involving your personal life, I must say I am not always completely comfortable with it. And I respect that. It's odd, weird, and strange. You know what I'm saying? I get that. That's why I try to show that mathematical anomaly, which is like mathematically impossible, basically, where her times me, you get the 620. There's, that you get that sets of 626, 126 evolving to 627, 127 for like, I don't know, 15 years. that evolves to 628, 128, and it sits exactly in the middle of the number. And if there's, see, like here, there's 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Over here, there's 5 on one side, 4 on the other. So it's as in the middle as you can get each and every time. Went through our addresses, how it started to go downhill at 2019, 2020. It started to go downhill where we lived. It was street addresses. She and I lived at 2015. And I took y'all back there during the when we were all kind of like asked to stay inside days. And I took my camera back to where I lived. My cell phone. And I put it on the ground and showed you how it starts to go at an incline. At 2005, 2006 is when she and I met. And then it starts to go downhill at 2019, 2020. They're across the street from each other. There's just, like the Lord's always spoke to me in numbers, period. So I share that. And because I do want to see, because it all pointed to Trump, and I've done long videos pointing out how it all points to Trump and the end times and my salvational process through the death of a friend, through things occurring on certain dates that go back to our divorce date, which again was February 2nd, 2009. And that's 8/36. Or 836. Well, 8 is the triangular number of 36, and 36 is the triangular number of 666. And I showed y'all how I was for 88, and 88 is Trump. Trump's the 666 guy. There's just, and it's Groundhog Day. And very relevant days coming up, because Groundhog Day transfer portals over to yesterday's cold full moon, and the solar eclipse transfer portals over to the snow full moon. And day 313 of the year 2021 transfer portals over to March 13th, or 313 of 2022. So we started to show, and we showed how Candy, her name is C-A-N-D-Y, C and Y. And her birthday transfer portals over to 325, or March 25th, and C and Y is 3 and 25. And that her birthday is Bill Gates' birthday. It is the St. Louis Archway birthday, basically, and the Statue of Liberty birthday, basically, all shown to us by AWTR. So y'all don't understand it as I don't understand it. I just notice it. And Jamie used the words, not always completely comfortable. It is unnerving. It's uncomfortable to me. It's a lot to keep inside, so I share it with y'all. That's all. Using their numbers to determine what they are signaling with their predictive programming and rituals is one thing. But using personal numbers, well, personal, but they're real. I'm not making any of it up. It's just numbers. Using personal numbers in order to discern future events? Question mark. I don't know either. I haven't been able to figure anything out with it. She then says, however, it is certainly intriguing. That's the way I feel. It is extremely, I find it fascinating. And I finally started sharing it with y'all a little bit at a time, kind of a slow rollout. It surely appears it is not coincidental. No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's supernatural. So, hey, I just share it with y'all because y'all might have some insight. Like your prior addresses, I found that fascinating, right? Perhaps it's because numbers and dates in my life I can hardly recall, and therefore they don't speak to me like they do you. Well, that's why I bring it to y'all, because, I want us to solve it together. But I will, though, try not to be so detailed or get into it that much. I think we've all seen what we need to see, and I can sort of leave that stuff alone, I think. Side note, I don't think I really understand what you mean when you say they troll us. The AI trolls us. And the AI throws down to the producers of TV shows to tell people to say things. Like, I did a video on the Trans Am being the Phoenix, and 4 days later, they rolled out a Trans Am with the Phoenix on it at College Game Day SEC Nation, for no reason whatsoever, just hey, out of the blue. I was like, are they trolling us? And words I started using, they started using. And that words they just dropped the word anomaly, because I've told y'all about the mathematical anomaly of me and my ex. And I'd made a in-depth email to my ex about the word spreadsheets. I used the word spreadsheets concerning my new job. And dude on College Football Live, which they know I watch, he dropped the word spreadsheets. Why would you mention spreadsheets in College Football Live? And it's just, it's a lot of stuff. And Paul Feinbaum, we need to look at that. But they come up and say stuff and do stuff on TV shows that they know I watch, because the ghost in the machine trolls us. Now, the people that run these TV shows or are on these TV shows, they don't troll us. The ghost in the machine trolls us. People on TV are told what to say. They're handed a script, or they'll say this. Don't ask questions, just say this, and they'll say it. But do I think the person saying it is watching my videos? No. But I think they're told to say it. I mean, these people that are on TV, like a Paul Feinbaum, who's extremely famous, they're way high up on the food chain. The media people are way higher up on the Illuminati food chain than the head coaches, except for Nick Saban, of course, and Urban Meyer and so forth. But those are media people also. You haven't figured that out. But your Kirk Herbstreits and these people that are big time media people, they are way high up on the food chain. More so than, let's say, the average coach. Way more so than like Dan Mullen was, or Kirby Smart is. The Georgia head coach. Coaches play a role. They're actors. And they're very good football coaches. But they're actors. Because they know the times we're in. They know what's coming. They know they're going to be protected. So when Feinbaum said, we're going to hunker down, trolling us to give us false information, to think that the hunkering down will be occurring by New Year's Eve. In other words, that Trump will go down before New Year's Eve, or to send us in the wrong direction. But they do troll us. And if Feinbaum is in on the trolling on a personal level, like, hey, there's this guy on YouTube that's trolling us, let's troll him back, say this. Yeah, that's very easy for them to do. But they're told what to say by the AI, which speaks to those that run television, that trickles down to producers, and they're told to say stuff. I believe that. I could be wrong, but I see way too much. And I see stuff in the Bible that nobody that we know has seen. That's why we teach things very uniquely that y'all have come to agree with. But it's not taught, especially as a culmination You can find somebody that'll teach hell is not eternal torment, but they'll believe in free will. But when you look at everything that we teach as a whole, there's nobody doing it. So if the Lord's given me a gift to see stuff that other people can't see, that's just, I don't know. I can't explain it. And I can apologize for it, and I can't apologize for it. On a spiritual level, I can't apologize for it, but on a personal level, yeah, I can apologize for it. I'm not trying to make anybody feel uncomfortable, but I just see and feel stuff, and we just can't seem to nail down when he's going down yet, but he hasn't gone down yet. So who's to say before he goes down, this channel, us, we won't nail it down? I mean, you'd think we would, because we kind of say the next day is it. So how can you be wrong? But it's not about being right or wrong. We're just, again, we have fun with it. It's a hobby. We troll the Antichrist. The AI trolls us. It's tit for tat. It's fair, but I believe it's done. It's things I feel in my spirit, things that I see them say, things that I see them do, things that I know I say, things that I know I'm thinking, things that I know I'm feeling will pop up. I shouldn't say just what I'm thinking. Anything I've done on, let's just say, my computer. And she says, thanks as always, with the all caps. And, you know, I thank you always, Jamie. You bring a lot to this channel. Side note, I don't really think I understand what you mean when you say, oh yeah, you mentioned that again in the video regarding pi. Well, I spent all day on my cell phone running pi numbers. So I was running numbers just to see what I could see. And Theology Ed came out with Life of Pi breakdown like 5 days later. And I was like, now that could be a Holy Spirit synchronicity situation or a trolled situation. I'm just not sure. Truth Unfiltered said, Trump said the other day that Pence's career was mortally wounded. Great choice of words. I even replied to this. Oh, Mary Carol. Because he didn't overturn the election for him. I thought that was an odd thing to say, even for him. Well, yeah, they're coming more and more out with stuff as we get closer and closer to his crowning fake moment event. I mean, Shaking My Head Productions, Theology Ed, they're just rolling out stuff. Enter the Stars, they're just rolling out stuff. I believe they are all controlled opposition. Theology Ed will sit there and go over all kind of amazing stuff. Never mention the Bible, and never mention that we're waiting on the Antichrist Trump to receive a deadly wound. Ever. Ever. How do they miss that? How do they not know that? They know all this stuff. They can break down all this stuff the LG can, but yet he doesn't know anything about the Bible or who Trump is. And if he does, he barely talks about it. Mary Carroll said, that is interesting. Michael said, Dr. Pepper comes to, hey, that's right. We asked him to break this stuff down. Dr. Pepper comes to 8-8, Day of the Dead, 8th King. Look at that. Look at that. And it's got an 88 in the middle of it. Dr. Pepper Fansville, 1188 in English gematria comes to President Trump, the first horseman. That's the event date. Yeah, the game culminates on 110, which we opened our video with. Calm before the storm, Statue of Liberty. This will be destroyed as shown in movie after movie after movie. The resurrection, two horns like a lamb, Revelation 13:11. I know it's my old address, not the 2015 one, but one I grew up at from 3 years old on into adulthood. My first address was 404, which is the number of verses in the book of Revelation. I don't know. It's just, it is. The Scottish Rite also comes to Dr. Pepper Fansville. And what I was wondering also was, and I'll pause. Hold on, was I on a page? Yeah, that was the lyrics that Michael wants us to take a look at. So we're going to go to this. I want to look at, I'll tell you one thing I looked at was Dr. Pepper, spelled out with the doctor also. And I'll pause and see if I come up with anything. You get some weird ones. Jesus December 7 or DEC 7, Jesus Tuesday December 7th codes, Sag on day 7, the Archer 7. So anyway, let me pause. Oh, there's not much there. That's one Michael might have looked at it. It was like, there ain't much there. But I did come across Drain the Swamp earlier, but I didn't show it to you because it's not a big deal. But Valentine's Day did pop up. Valentine's Day did pop up. And so let me pause, see if anything else pops up. I Pet Goat TWO does pop up, which is actually called December 16th, the first date popped up. The Hunger Games popped up. Kobe Bryant death popped up. This will be the last one, so I won't pause. We're 6 pages in now. December 16 again was the only one that popped up. Now I can portal that over if you like. There's October 18, December 6. I remember doing this now that I see that those dates. So it's December 16th I'm portaling. Is that right? So 25 days through the portal backwards. So Dr. Pepper comes to February 4th. Okay. And that's DOCTO. It portals over to it. So nothing much, you know, a few items. Let's continue with your comments. By the way, Michael, thank you for reading, for doing that work for us. Again, it coming to 88, Day of the Dead, 8th King, which is when he returns as the Antichrist, as he is of the 7. Dr. Pepper Fansville, the First Horseman. I mean, it's huge stuff that Michael laid out for us. Again, with the Statue of Liberty. Just, yeah, fascinating stuff. So thank you, Michael, on that. Once I give it the heart, it will disappear from my. By the way, Michael said January 8th, 2022 is my highest watch date. Well, I like that. He threw up some stuff a while back, which were the reasons why. And they were solid reasons. And I said, well, it does portal over to the 12th, which is on the truck and on the airplane. 121 can be 12-1 or 12th of January, which is how most countries write it. 12/1 or 121 would be January 12th, which portals to the 8th. So, I mean, as we're looking hard at the portal back and forth from 5th to the 15th. 15th is MLK's actual birthday, Martin Luther King. The 5th is the day before last year's rioting, and we know the rioting that took place at, you know, they call it the, I don't know, you know, where all those, yeah, I don't know how to say it safely. We can say, well, what in tarnation? Might have misspelled that, but y'all see that there? Oops. That was on the 6th of January when that all went down. So you have to take a strong, hard look at the 5th or portal over to the 15th. Right? The 6th portals to the 14th. And so that means it could happen on the 12th, like we were talking about. And 2 days later, they're back at that same spot, tearing everything up. As that will be declared. What were all these for? Oh, that was back when we were thinking, we were looking at the clocks, Back to the Future stopwatches. But yeah, January 8th, your guess is as good as mine. Y'all's opinions are as good as mine. And you can throw out a date that you had in a dream. If you believe in election predestination and God doesn't love everybody, he only came for his sheep, and hell is not eternal torment, we don't have free will, then the Holy Spirit comes to you in a dream and just gives you a date, share it with us. I mean, I would like to think he's going to speak to one of us, and then we share it out through this platform. I'm just the guy at the I'm like the master of ceremonies. But Holy Spirit could tell any of y'all what the date is. Michael's strong on 1/8, which 6 + 6 + 6 is 1/8 or 18. Christian Schultz, yes, I think certain things were changed a little. Don't remember originally where the girl looked up before. And you know what? I ended up being wrong about that. Remember the horn, it was 237 where the horn blew, and I should have remembered that because of how personal those numbers are. And I know y'all don't understand them, so I don't want to get into them. But of course the horn blows at 237, not 207. That was my fault. That was just a bugaboo on me, Christian. Didn't mean to throw you off there. I don't remember it saying LOL in green when Obama is like the class laughing. Some of the music sounds slightly off. I could be wrong. Certainly seemed different. When Bush turns to Obama, it almost looks like there's a delay of shape shifting. Originally, I remember him changing from one to the other around 54 seconds of the original. I remember that, Mary Carroll says. Well, that's interesting. I ended up being wrong about what I thought they changed in iPad Go. And but if y'all noticed that something changed, that's fascinating. Now, Christian said the LC may be, or maybe last Christmas. That very well could be. I mean, what's up? Or maybe La Cumbre, La Palma. Very well could be. Those are excellent points. If you look at the apple, when it stops rolling at the bottom half, it looks like La Palma in red with the outline of the island in orange right above when it casts a shadow at 12:09. So let me tell you where I think you're right. Let me tell you where I think you're spot on. And why you're spot on. Because this is when he dies. He is gone. We already had gotten the staghorns over his head, and she's depressed about it. And that's before New Year's Eve. So if we're reading this correctly, they will be hungered down for the national championship games, which won't even end up taking place because of rioting. Now, again, we like those January dates we just talked about, but iPad Goat's throwing us over to December because I sped it up 1.5 because he's dead and she's depressed. So the stag horns were over his head. He's the stag. That's all it's saying is he's the stag. Now it's saying this is his exit. It's at 119, which stands for Donald. 119 stands for Donald. Now she's sad. Then you get to New Year's Eve where the ball drops. Now she was inside our December 4th solar eclipse. So let me clear my throat. I need to go blow a nose or something. Hang on. All right. So in theory with iPet Goat, he's going down before. And before 2022 begins. If you look at it from an iPet Goat perspective. Because this is New Year's. And the lockdowns are beginning. Or you can just call this the time of the lockdowns because, you know, Theology Ed likes to tell you that this whole scene is all about some eclipse back in 2020 on that had to do with the buck full moon. In 2020. But the exit, this is about an eclipse that takes place in and or around his exit. Now, Year of the Rabbit is 2023. We're about to get into Year of the Tiger. And of course, the movie Life of Pi or whatever was about, it had a tiger in it. And the tiger was in the boat with the kid or the young man. And the tiger ended up being himself. It was what he needed. He needed the tiger within to survive in the movie. Didn't watch it, tried to watch it, was bored right off the bat. Fast forwarded through it, didn't grab me. Watch The Dark Knight, I get grabbed. I watch The Prestige, I get grabbed. Sicario, I get grabbed. Life of Pi didn't grab me. So then it rolls and we go through the 10 phases, and we're going to slow it down now and take a look at this La Palma thing that Christian's talking about. And he says it sort of looks like the La Palma volcano that the LC could stand for. And again, I think it's Loose Change of the greatest documentary of 9/11. Loose Change, an American coup. And I think he's saying here right before it splits that you're basically looking at what La Palma looks like. And I don't know enough about it to know that. So that one's over my head as far as what La Palma looks like. But if La Palma is shaped like that, then y'all can look at that and research that. You know what I mean? But if he's down, we've always said, and Michael said, and we've always said that the waters are going to rise because the tsunamis are going to hit. So if that's La Cubre and Loose Change combined, Loose Change meaning he just went down, 9/11, and La Cubre, here comes the waters, that he's going through the, whatever you want to call it, the resurrection or regeneration process, which is what the lotus flower stands for. So if that's taking place as the volcano or as the tsunamis hit, because Jesus said there will be earthquakes in diverse places. If we were to look at it exactly, earthquakes in diverse places, Matthew 24. For nation shall rise against nation. If we just bring that up, when you go to that verse 14, if I may really quickly, and the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, then shall the end come. Jesus is talking about the end of time. He said, but he that will endure till the end through the great tribulation, the sheep that are getting their robes made white, because most sheep are lost. And we know from Acts 14:22, which is my phone number, 14:22, we all through much tribulation. You're like, well, you said your number was 2237. Well, there's a home number and a cell number. Relax. But he that shall endure unto the end, see, the tribulation is made for us, and the gospel shall be preached for all. That's an angel that preaches that. It's not people. It's an angel. And the angel goes out and preaches the gospel, Revelation, I think it's 14. And I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people. I mean, that's just like well, there it is, that him that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. That's just kind of a last minute in your face kind of thing from God, from the angel. That's not from people. People are like, well, we're going to be preaching the gospel. Good grief. The false teachings, right? But anyway, I digress. Just got off on a side note there. For nation shall rise against nation. Well, when he goes down, it will. Famines, black horse. Rising against nation, red horse. Pestilences. We're going to turn up the technology. And earthquakes in diverse places. These are the beginning of the sorrows. The ending of the sorrows is when he comes back at the abomination of desolation. But you go all the way down here. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, because it's a holy place to the Jew. And they're the remnant of the bloodline, and they are not awakened in Christ until the last non-bloodline For I would not, brethren, that you should be so ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be so wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part has happened to the bloodline of Israel, the real bloodline of the real Jew, that blindness in part happened to them until, in other words, their blindness is lifted. The fullness of the non-bloodline comes in. Each occur at the abomination, first to the Gentile, and then the remnant will be awakened. So to them that are the remnant, that temple where he will be doing this, where he's on the temple coin, Trump's on 2 temple coins, it's a holy place to the Jew. That's who he's speaking to. And he says, then let them which be in Judea, where it's happening, flee into the mountains. If you're on top of your house, don't even come down to get anything out of your house. Why so quickly? Because demonic entities like the movie The Exorcist are going to be uploading into humans as they worship the image of the beast. And they're going to cut your head off like Edward Scissorhands. And we broke that movie down and showed you how that is what they're telling you in that movie, Edward Scissorhands. We went in detail and showed you. I had a hunch. And I went and watched the movie. And there it was. And that's what they were telling you. For there shall be great tribulation. Oh, church, God doesn't beat up his wife. Ugh. Oh, yes, he does. For whom the Lord loveth his bride, he will lock her down and beat. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth. A scourging is a beating nearly to death, but you don't quite die. Kind of like what chemo does. It kills the cancer without killing you, even though it does. In my mom's case. If there's one thing I hate, it's the American Cancer Society. It's all fake medicine. It's all barbaric. They might as well be doing bloodletting and leeches and everything else. They could cure that stuff like that. They have the abilities to. Chastens and scourges every son whom he receiveth. If you endure this chastening, God is dealing with you as a son. For what son whom the father chasteneth not But if you are without this chastisement or this locking down, where all of God's sheep are partakers, then ye are bastards, not sons. This is a goat sheep situation. If you're a sheep, he's going to beat the world out of you. So I don't ever want to hear people say, God wouldn't beat his wife. Plus, they're getting confused. The wrath of God is not for his church. That's to cleanse the earth and to punish the fallen angels before he throws them in the lake of fire for all eternity. Yeah. So we get it. Good stuff, my friend. He said at the 2902, the apple cast a shadow on this video. Okay, he said La Palma in red with the outline of the island in orange. Okay. There it is. That is La Palma right there in orange. That is what he's saying. I love it. Okay. That's a good take, Christian. That's good, my friend. That's strong, 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 strong. Right there, he's saying. He gave us the exact parameter. Hey, it's got 119 views for Donald. Think Donald Trump watches our videos? Yes. I would tell you yes. It's a hunch. Back up Notre Dame. It's a hunch. Does Paul Feinbaum watch? No. But you look at the views we have, as I've said before, somebody could download, or the ghost of the machine can download our video and send it out to whoever it wants to, and it wouldn't show any views. It would show one view. And it could be sent to hundreds of thousands of them. You're like, well, that's pretty far out there, dude. You're living in a pretty far out universe or world. You know, I don't mean there's any such thing as a universe like NASA says. But okay, that looks like that's all of our comments. Let's go through my prep. Again, there's the 110. Now, Trump was born year of the dog, Sirius the dog star. Trump was born year of the dog. That's why Sirius the dog star is such a big deal. Fascinating. I didn't get that off no channel. Figured that out, watching some stuff, watching Theology Ed go through the year of the tiger. And I was like, I wonder what year Trump was born in. What's his Chinese zodiac? Snoop Dogg. Gotta save the dog. So now we know what Snoop Dogg's all about, or the dog hunter. What's his name? He's all in the news. They put him on TV. He's like bounty hunter, the dog. Dog, the bounty hunter. These people that are made famous with their dog names. Hey, look at that hair, Trump. Again with the hair. Their world's all about the hair, isn't it? Trump's hair. All right, so we finished the comments. Let's keep going. all dogs and dog lovers out there know that next year the dog will be 2030. Now you know what Agenda 2030 is about. They think there will be a 2030. Watching the USC game, you know, the one that gave us the 110. Look at his right eye, utterly darkened. Is that going to be our thumbnail? Well, I believe it is. The quarterback for the game had his right eye utterly darkened. These people are fascinating, aren't they? So you don't think they aren't told to do, again, you don't think they aren't told to, when I tell you we're being trolled based off being told to do, you don't think that kid was told to do that? Or do you think he really knows every single thing that's going on? Or do you just think he was told to do that? To troll sheep. Yeah, we seem to be the only sheep that seem to find all the stuff. So who's getting trolled? We're getting trolled. It's tit for tat. Who do we troll? We troll the Antichrist and all of his minions. We watch what they do. We disseminate what they do. We break down what they do. We break down when they're going to do it. We break down their movies. We troll them. They troll us. There's no harm in that. Why am I looking at other sets of... Have you watched Theology Ed channel? Great decodes on this. It's definitely a controlled op. I said, did you watch my entire video? I could have sworn I mentioned him tonight. But if not, I most always do. He's controlled opposition for sure. But lots of info just the same, more than most controlled ops. And that's when Christian told us about that. Yes, I think certain things were changed. See, I already liked all this stuff in the other one, so I hope that I'm not unliking them by clicking again. Okay. Okay. All right, so everybody's clicked. I got to give you some love, man. Sky Girl, don't nobody go to her channel and mess with her. Strife is not what we're all about. We don't do strife. That's a sin. Sheep are called out of strife. I always like to think if somebody's here. Now she's Dallas Hotel blooper. Des Moines, Iowa film with there's an archway there, big time. I mean, if she came on to troll me, big deal. She didn't respond back to my comment. Oh, Michael also gave us a Sting Russians music video, which I can put in the top comment. And there's the lyrics, which I can copy and paste. Now, state versus tech, I wanted to gematria because that's the transfer portal commercial, and the whole Dr. Pepper thing is state versus tech. Now, for verses, I put the VS. You could put V, you could put in. You do get Christmas Eve. And you get December 12. And that's just the first page. The second page, you do get 1202, by the way. Which is nothing more than February 12th, really, for us, the way we're looking at things. Kill him now. Arlington, Virginia. War is declared. Year of the Ox. Devil's Advocate. Not getting a date, though. I mean, let's face it. Full cold moon. That was yesterday. Pretty sure we're out of all that now. Where the plants are in astrology, astrodientist. So the moon's now in Cancer. 12 hours ago. So about 6 this morning, it swapped. So we're running out of time for him to have a bow. Unless him having a bow was the Mars placement, because Mars is the god of war. It rules Aries. Does it rule two planets? I forgot. What planets do Mars rule in astrology? Scorpio. So Mars rules ancient. Okay. So Mars rules Scorpio and Aries, and it's the only planet that does rule two. Well, Mercury, Gemini, and Virgo. Which Aries and Scorpio, that's fire to water. But Gemini, hold on. Yeah. But Gemini to Virgo, both ruled by Mercury. Those are both considered, I think, mutable signs. I can't remember. God, I used to know all this stuff by scratch. I love everything I've forgotten, that's for sure. I've forgotten more than most people ever know. I love that expression because it's literally a true statement. And again, astrology is nothing you want to know. That's very evil. That's one of the things the Lord pulled me out of so I could witness to, I would imagine. So state versus tech doesn't give us a whole lot so far, because we're looking for a late December or January date. Or we're looking for something like transfer portal, or, we're looking for something. Wonder what transfer portal comes to. Did we ever look at that? Just straight up transfer portal? Never looked it up. The end of days. Transfer portal comes to the end of days. Well, you gotta love that. You gotta love that my back will be straightened out. Like the Dark Knight Rises, he gets his spine straightened out. Remember that? Guy beats his vertebrae back in. And I've got herniations and bulgings, and my last 2 treatments are this Monday and Wednesday. And then it's fixed. I have a new spine. January 7th is right there. That's right next to Michael's date. So transfer portal comes to January 7th, which will portal over to January 13th. Back 3 days, up 3 days. Wow, we finally got a date with transfer portal. Finally got a date with anything we looked at that was significant. Napoleon Dynamite. What do you think that is? Everything's Trump. Everything is Trump. Everything is Trump. And always has been. This is our 4th look at the transfer portal. Looking for one more date. But we did get January 7th. Which if he goes down to the 5th, well, like Michael's big day is the 8th. My big day would be the 2nd of January, only because of the Donnie Darko October 1988 month overlay. And that overlay is what is occurring in January. And Donnie does die on January 2nd. The one that lives on through the movie, which would be the Antichrist, and does a lot of destruction. But the one that dies, and they go back and show you that at the end of the movie, but he actually, when they go back and show you everything, they go back to October 2nd, which is this coming January 2nd overlay. So I guess I would always have to say that's my biggest date, but now feeling that it has to take place before New Year's Eve. I would have said today, and it's 6:10, and he's in Houston. I mean, he's in Dallas. Started at 3 p.m. So I don't know when Trump speaks. What time does Trump speak in Dallas, Bill O'Reilly? The history tour. I mean, you know what they're saying, don't you? America's about to be history. I mean, make no mistake about that. Trump, Dallas, Bill O'Reilly. Doors open at 12 p.m. So it began at 3. So nothing's happened to him. Doesn't mean it can't happen this evening. But I was big on this day because then tomorrow's the darkest day. We're going to move to tomorrow then. Now, somebody told me the darkest day is the 21st. I thought it was the 20th. The shortest day of the year. My friend Justin was right. See, I thought the rebirth of the sun was the 21st. This one says, why is 22nd of December the shortest day? So the winter solstice is the shortest day of the year. I don't know why I was thinking it was when it was the rebirthing of the sun, but Justin says, well, the longest day of the year is the 21st of June. So the shortest would be the 21st. So he was right about that. So that's till Tuesday. That's till Tuesday. And that's all of our 12/21 symbolism we've been getting. So is he going to be playing golf somewhere on Tuesday? Because my last spinal thing is Wednesday. And the Dark Knight Rises, he doesn't rise until that spine is fixed. And if I'm being narcissistic, I just have to apologize for that. It's just stuff I feel like just too many weird things. Like when I got hit in the right eye the other day. I mean, what was that? By a paper airplane. In the right eye. Stuck in my right eye. Or seemed to. It did not injure me. Thank you, Jesus. So the 22nd is the rebirth of the sun. So he could go down tomorrow and then everybody's mourning on the darkest day of the year because it's the darkest day because the Antichrist is, it's like, you know, in their world, Jesus is dead. It's dark. And then he would spiritually rise on the third day, which would be the 22nd. So I'm going to have to move it away from today and say it's tomorrow. Would be a big day for me because the following day is the darkest. And remember that we liked that 20th. Click unhide. We can now get rid of all of these 18ths. And the 20th is when Damien Thorn is 18,866 old and 2,666 weeks old. So let's finish that for you. It's going to be my new big date, the 20th. And remember that girl, my last relationship, she had the 718 in her number and she's born on that day. Narcissism. This is my narcissism. 12 times 20 times 1966. She's got the 718 in the middle of her number, and the Porsche 718 is the next one up from 911. Narcissism, fair use, narcissism. Like when I say fair use commentary, fair use. So Omen, IMDb. This is the one with the little kid. I think that's the one I looked up. His name's Harvey Stevens. November 12th, 1970. One 866 days old, 2 666 weeks old. 1 8666 days old. 18. You got the 18 for 6 plus 6 plus 6. You've got the 666, and you've got the 86 being 86th. That would be on a Monday he would go down, which would give us the song Till Tuesday, which would be the following day, the darkest day, and the day everything would begin. America, your history. One day later. All right. Going to go with 1220. Or 2012. If you say it backwards, and that's when they said the Mayans, 2012, everything was going to end, remember? The Mayan calendar end date, 2012. The 20th day of the 12th month in the year 2021. The year after 9/11, me and the second wife times the year 2002 had the 9/11 in it. Now me and her, narcissism, fair use narcissism. The year after 9/11, if it takes place in 2021, the year after our combined number, you get 2001, which is back when 9/11 took place. So that'd be a 20-year span, 2002 to 2022. Narcissism, fair use narcissism. All right, we're just looking at it. That's big. Big. What does our calendar tell us? The 21st. Well, the day he would go down would be the Charlie's Angels movie. And the following day, the darkest day of the year, Bruce Almighty. The day he would rise would be Battleship. Charlie's Angels movie.
Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels.
Came out the year 2000, which was the year before 9/11. But now we're saying it's the day of 9/11. You have the 127 in the URL. We'll close with this. Charlie's Angels, Wikipedia. I want to see the release date. Charlie's Angels movie, Wikipedia. October 22nd at Mann's Chinese Theater. That's when I met. That's when my son was born and when I met my second wife, October 22nd. Fascinating. 5 years to the day. But released in Los Estados Unidos on November 3rd. 11 times 3 is 33. Love it. Love y'all very much, and I apologize in advance for my narcissism.